Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The chaos at Johnny and Chanel's cabin. Clyde's next move. Sloan raises suspicions. Days in our lives. According to previews for the week of April 8th to 12th, Teresa Donovan will face pressure from Constantine Meliunis to commit to a future with Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, who will be sharing anecdotes with Brady Black regarding their individual experiences with Teresa. He will confess his guilt to Kayla Johnson after parting ways with Steve Johnson. At least to Kayla, it appears like Steve will at last own up to his involvement in Clyde Weston's, James Reed, escape. John Black will question Steve Burton's character Harris Michaels over his time spent at Bayview. John would then question whether he should spend some time there as well. According to teasers for other days, Clyde will entice Ava Vitali to complete another mission for him. As it happens, Clyde will contact Ava and give her instructions to get something he secretly left in the bistro for protection. Trip Johnson will try his best in the park to divert Wendy Shin's, Victoria Grace, attention from her trauma by getting her moving. Together, they will work out to combat Wendy's trauma. After that, Paulina Price will get ready for her radioactive iodine treatment with Abe Carver's help, but when she gets agitated in isolation later, she'll snap at him. Naturally, Abe won't hold Paulina responsible and will keep being the devoted husband she deserves. Additionally, according to teasers for days, Kristen DiMera will question EJ DiMera about Stefan DiMera's imprisonment. EJ may be especially agitated when Kristen queries him about Stefan because he just got out of a heated argument with Holly Jonas. Later, Kristen will confront Nicole Walker for belittling Holly and incurring her fury. The resumption of Nicole and Kristen's dispute could lead to further problems. Greg Vaughn's character Eric Brady will discover an odd discovery in the interim. Eric might start to interrogate Sloan Peterson Brady too much about missing money and her strange spending habits, since it turns out that Sloan will be late with their rent payment. Sloan will attempt to patch things up as best she can and keep Eric in the dark about the turmoil surrounding the blackmail involving the baby, as she is still paying Leo Stark. Days teasers indicate that Sarah Horton will do all of her efforts to assist Xander Cook as he investigates who set him up. When Xander finds Chad DiMera, he will work to have the Spectator conduct a thorough investigation to determine the perpetrator. Maggie Kyriakis will receive updates from Constantine on some regrettable news, but once he gives it, he'll utilize his endearing nature to nudge her closer. Tate Black and Holly will have a romantic picnic across town, but it will probably take place without their parents' knowledge and could cause trouble if they are discovered. Fans of DOOL can also anticipate that Jada Hunter will question Stephanie Johnson. Jada will confront Stephanie about her unresolved love for Everett Lynch, aka Bobby Stein, and she will be hoping for an open and sincere answer. Stephanie will want to know why Everett refuses to sign the divorce papers that might put an end to his marriage to Jada permanently. A startling interruption awaits Chanel DiMera, Raven Bowens, and Johnny DiMera upon their arrival at the Horton cabin for their honeymoon escape. Will the newlyweds be put in danger when Clyde and Officer Rebecca Goldman show up to the cabin without permission? We'll bring you predictions about the mayhem that could break out because spoilers for Days of Our Lives suggest that Johnny and Chanel could be in danger. Trip comforts a dejected Wendy at home, telling her that she will get over the stress of what transpired. She describes her recurrent dream in which she screams for aid and bangs on the tank, but nobody answers. She also hears him yelling as he sleeps. He advises them to have a fun date night in order to reprogram their minds to think more positively. Everett tells Stephanie in the pub that he saw himself when he was hypnotized. It scared him since it was a smiling image of himself. He just wanted to go somewhere familiar and nurse a drink, so he didn't inform Marlena. Rafe arranges to meet Jada at the pub in his office. He answers his phone as she departs and says, "What?" He hangs up after asking the caller to send him the scans. He thinks to himself, damn. Things are about to get ugly. Xander shows Sarah the CCTV images of Harris's shooter with great excitement when she gets home. While Xander is wearing generic brand gym pants, the gunman in the video is decked out in costly designer gear. The width of the stripe shows the difference. Xander claims to have conclusive evidence of his innocence. After planting a firm kiss on him, she quickly leaves to show the police. At the now-closed bistro, Ava prepares meals for Harris and serves wine from their most costly bottle. She tells him how incredibly emotional she was during his hospital stay. She believed that the kindest, most devoted, strongest person she had ever met would be leaving her. She considers herself to be okay if he wants to be with her because she feels loved by him. "You're everything I want," he says, "not just acceptable." Tripp gets out Jenga for him and Wendy to play after placing a takeout meal. She's preoccupied with thoughts of whether he proposed in the beer tank because his judgment was clouded by the low oxygen content. "Is that the reason we tied the knot?" He doesn't regret anything he said, but he speculates that it's because their inhibitions were lowered. He was more aware than ever of his affection for her. She feels like they skipped a couple levels in their love, but she still loves him. Rafe is in his office when Xander and Sarah bring him a pair of his running pants. Sarah draws attention to the variations in the stripes. Rafe acknowledges that Xander might benefit from it. When the sun comes up, they'll tackle it. When Jada walks into the pub, she makes fun of how comfortable Stephanie and Everett seem. Stephanie informs her Marlena just hypnotized Everett in a defensive manner. He says he saw himself smiling when Jada asks. She laughs and calls it narcissistic Bobby BS. A grade A. Stephanie gets agitated, but Everett can relate to Jada's doubts. Since their Valentine's Day meeting at the pub, he swears he has only ever told Jada the truth. "She still treats me dismissively." He says it hurts to not recall being married to her. Stephanie begs her to show some empathy and stand by him rather than criticizing him. Jada is going to pass. "Stepha, he's all yours." Wendy and Tripp talk about their previous relationships and how they got to where they are now at their kitchen table. Tripp expresses his gratitude and predicts that their love will endure if it is genuine. He proposes that they return to the steps they missed and set the marriage proposal aside. She concurs. Right then, he asks her to go on a date. Upon finishing the best meal Harris has ever had, he pulls Ava into a dance. As they lightly sway, wrapped in each other's arms, Harris asks when Ava is going to reopen the restaurant. She's not. "I am done with the bistro." Harris asks what she'll do instead. Ava will figure it out and find a legit job. "I'm never going back to that life," she vows. Upon coming home, Xander and Sarah revel in Rafe believing them. Xander tells her how much it means to him that she's believed him all along. After Sarah puts Victoria to bed, they marvel over their daughter who brought them back together.